Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Laszlo. So today I will present quickly the BB11 DAAV, so the building block for data aggregation, alignment, and vectorization. So first I will start with little context and objectives, and next I will demonstration 3 use case as data provider, data consumer, and a service chain. So quickly, it's a H-Skills open source building block, so you will be able to use it internally in your projects or as an infrastructure services. And it aims to simplify and optimize data management and analysis in complex environment, reduce entry barriers for data provider and service provider into the data space, and fully integrate data space functionalities. Here are some classic data transformation of daily works as IT developers or data analysts. We manage data sets and we cut it in subsets, or we merge it into new data sets. We transform them to make new data based on various sources. So in the building block, we will have this process. We will configure some inputs for the DAAV. It could be from a data space data provider through the PDC, and eventually with other building blocks, we'll send the input data to the building block, and classics database, API, or files and folders. Once you have configured these inputs, a workflow will start when we will manipulate the data, eventually with other building blocks in this step 2. And this new data will be sent to an output that we will configure in the workflow as an end to the workflow. And it could be again through the PDC, send it to a data consumer, or send it to database, API, and file and folders as the inputs. So here are also the use case for data providers. So it's just an example, but here I have LRS where I have my students' learning trace. I will send this data to the building block, and the building block will make the data available through the PDC to another building block, end user, customer, or AI services. So here my data. So I have 3 data sets, and I will configure them here in the DAAV. So here is the building block itself. We have configured some data, so files, Mongo, MySQL, and important, the PDC type, PTX. Each input have a custom dashboard where you will see, and as a developer be able to configure customizable visualization. So for example, here for the PDC, we have the catalog data, our contract, and we are able to trigger data exchange. For a JSON file, it's just the JSON where we can see the data. And here is the case I cited. My LRS is sending data to my building block. So, for example, here it's our LRS. I give the URL of the building block, and here I receive data of my students with some metadata, and here I see the statement, the XAPI statement. And once I've configured that, I can define a workflow. So here I have some workflow. And so as a data provider, and it's okay. Oops, sorry. So here is a database with my choices, so my statements. I will define a transformation. So here is just a simple one where I will choose with all the data from the input. I will choose what I want to send to the PDC and the data space. And so here I just choose the type of the exercise, the duration, and the success, well, just for the example. And here I've choose, I have two PDC, I have two organization. So I choose the one I want to share with. And here I just give a name and a URL so that I can configure them here in the dataset. It's almost ready. You will be able to choose directly the data source. It's not working now, but it's almost ready. And so you will be able to plug it to your dataset directly. And just for example, here we have, so it was RLRS. Here we have some dataset with image, so drawings from the students. Okay, now second use case, I'm a data consumer. So my PDC send me data and I will put the building block as a receiver for the data. And for example, just to do visualization for my CMO or my CEO. So here, I have my project in the catalog, so Prometheus Technologies. And here I have my service provider and data provider. So each one has configured data, and I will find them. I will find them. Sorry, here in my contract. It's more an ecosystem than a contract, but kind of the same. So I have all of my data provider, and I have two services. That's my services here. So I have defined, sorry, not here, project settings here. So I have an adaptive learning, sorry, I have an adaptive learning offer, and I have sorry, content, material technologies. Yes, we consume the data. And here I will be able to data from Posh. So I will send them to my and here you see it's automatic. When you will ask to receive the data, it will create a data set here with the name of the contract and the data I receive. So each time I trigger the data exchange, it will append a new data here. And so next, for a simple example, here I have my blocks. So I have a data file block that's from Posh Technologies with all my statements. And I will simply make them available through an API with a token to securize the access. And this API is available for my users, for my AI engineers or data analysts. So that's a simple example, but if I want, I can see like with I can add some blocks and take it's similar to the service chain. I will play, and here I should be able to see the data. so that statement. So it's all the field of my my statement I receive from a data provider. Okay, and I can choose where I want to send them. Last one, as a service chain. So as it was present with by Felix, when we are in a service chain, you can transform your data before sending them to another services. So let's go back in my project. I have my service chain. So here, one for each data provider. I made one just for example. So when you use our infrastructure services, you will have an account that's not ready yet, but you will have an account on your on our infrastructure service, and you will be able to configure a workflow with this data as input and the data you want as output for here, for the example, the content recommendation service. And the principle is here, as explained, you will be able to set the workflow ID that you defined here. So each workflow has an ID, and you can use it. So here, to do that, I have two blocks: the service chain input and the service chain output. So if you want for them to work in a service chain, you will do that. So here, it will read all the data sent by the PDC, and there it will send the data as expected by the PDC for service chain. And in the middle, you do your transformation. And for now, we have just added, you can say, okay, my data will be, so I can edit, let's say, just text. I will say, I receive a trace, okay, of type XAP. Okay, and so now this block knows that each input from the service chain look like this sample. And so in the next step, I see that, no, it doesn't like my new input. Sorry, I'll remove it. No, it doesn't like. Well, the problem is this, it was just an example. And so the service chain is complete and will be sent to the content recommendation service. So this part is tested and functional. So if your data provider are correctly sending their data, the service chain work and will send the data to the next element. You will be able to do it in your PDC dashboard here, but for now we have only added the data exchange. But here you will have the service chain too to trigger them. For now, we trigger them manually from with the service chain ID and contract ID. And so here we see that the infrastructure building block service has worked and completed this step. And that's it for now. The next step will be to add more functionality with service chain and to give you access to more building more blocks in the transformation system to simplify the management of your data. Any question?
Thank you very much, Samuel. Very interesting. Can you please, sorry, but re-explain today what you cover as kind of data and kind of transformations that it can do?
The data sets here, we have classic MySQL, Mongo, Elasticsearch. That's the three main database today. Files, because we manipulate a lot of files, audio files, picture files, and so on. So we have data sets are not database, but just files. The API, so you can choose set what kind of authentication you want. For example, we set here Hugging Face. So it's just a dataset URL of Hugging Face. And so here you can input Hugging Face datasets into your workflow. So here are Mongo and MySQL are little different because they have inside the database, you have tables or collections. So here you can choose one, or you can configure directly your data that you want. So here, for example, you have set the collection of exercise you want. In MySQL, we set a Moodle example, where here I have all my Moodle course, so I can use them or send them to someone. But if I want, let's say, the questions here, question, singulier. Here I can see all the question. I've configured my bank of questions as named in the Moodle. Here, simple JSON file. In files, you can choose JSON, CSV, TSV, Parquet. Parquet is really good to data management. Avro, XMS, it's quite large for use. And file and folders, so I've set it. So you can plug open data, you can plug every data you want. It's a system of plugins, so you can easily configure a new input, and it will be all documented for developers. And as transformation, for now we have not much, but the merge is quite useful if you have various MySQL, Mongo. I can merge, flatten, ok, non, ça c'est pas flatten, hop, sorry, hop. The data should be compatible, so you have to set flatten here, and here you can set a flatten one too, up, and so you see the both database. Oh, why there is just one? Maybe because that cannot get not data, no connection available. Okay, so my database is broken, it seems. It's weird. Okay, not sure why. So the merge, let's see with two MySQL maybe. MySQL or data file. Wait. I will show the JSON. Up, up. Working, working, working. So here I have my JSON. Here I have my button. Okay. No, not working. Not sure why I don't have my second data source, but you can merge them. I've created new input for the demo, so maybe it's not done yet. And the next one is the filter. So for the subsets, you will be able sense to input your data, and I think.
So here in the merge, you manually map the fields of each data set, and then it merges them.
Yes, because you can. I will set it again.
And so that's quite generic, right? It's it can be used for any. It's not specific to learning traces or whatever.
No, it seems when you have fields. Let's say I have 4 data sets of audio file, and the name of the fields are not the same. Each data set has its own names. So I will be able to merge them and say here the same field but with two different names. So it will let's see if I can do it with maybe to MySQL. Up, MySQL block up.
And have you thought about using generative AI to suggest mappings?
It's working this time. So I have my ID here, and I can say that the ID here is the same, so it will merge them into one field. But I can say maybe this category is not the same that this category here. So category exercise and category I don't know DAPO. And so now my output here will be the, if I go to another the filter up, if you can, yes. And so now I have my ID and my 2 categories. And so I can say I just want the category that's equal to I don't know, mathematics.
Okay. Thank you. And so what's the difference with Edge Translator? I feel it's a bit of the same functionality.
We don't have frameworks now, but the aim of Edge Translator is to convert from various frameworks to one framework, main framework. So yeah, if I don't say it's right, but it's quite that.
And in between, also mapping to the known like smart orientation ontology or pivot ontology, as we call it. So map the data to that and to the framework. That's right.
For example, the Edge Translator could be an input into the DAAV. So I will configure an API from the building block or in the service chain. So in my service chain input, sorry, here I may have 2 data, an XAPI statement. Can't edit here. An XAPI. Okay. And as a second input, I will have an ontology. Let's say. And now I can use them to make new data available for another services or for.
But yes, I understand that the translator does it for specific kind of targets to what it is mapped. But in the end, isn't it, in a sense, then a bit of a more advanced or specific version of DAAV? Because in Edge, you could, it's not specific, I guess, to this or that ontology. You could change the framework and the target, right, Asia? So I'm just wondering if it's not just like, it seems like maybe DAAV is a part of H translator in a sense.
Where I see the connection is maybe if we have to collect the data from different sources and make it one data type and model to process later, that could be it. So so in some of the use cases where we have a problem for like data aggregation, where the data comes from different sources and we need absolutely a JSON format, one type, one model data as an input for Edge translator. So this can be the first step to treat the data and then send it as an input to the translator for the framework translation.
I don't.
Sorry, I think we have to converge now because we are close to the end of the meeting. I would have a bit more generic question. I have a lot of technical questions, but not for now. But how can someone try DAAV? You said that you need to have an account for your server. So if we are interested to test it, to play with it, what should you do?
So we will deploy it on GitHub next week for version 1. And for the infrastructure service, today is not ready. We discussed it with Matthias and Felix, so that when you will be here, or maybe before, when you will subscribe. When you are here in your project settings, you had the infrastructure offers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and at this step, you should be able into the catalog to access configuration URL that will give you with the contract ID, will give you access to the DAAV building block to configure your workflow. Okay.
Thanks. Uta has also a question.
I have a follow-up question to what Asia just said. I'm not sure I understood everything, but we started our use case with a scenario where a customer uploads different file types like Word, PDF to some whatever bucket or database. But this could not be handled by PDC. So we converted ourselves to some text format. Would this infrastructure thingy also help for such use cases?
For files, I'm not sure today. We only receive JSON in here as an input. It's only JSON, but at the previous demo from EduNow, we saw that they convert PDF into base 64.
Yeah, that's what we do right now ourselves.
Okay, so it could be added as an input type, I guess. It's just a transform that is B64 decode. And text manipulation. Today, the file type here. What JSON do we have here? Oh, that's not a JSON. That's just file organizer. Not sure. I think we have JSON somewhere. We extract text content from files. So show which one it should be. Here we have base 64 decode for image. But I guess
I think Uta is more mentioning something like access strings exchange or something like this that would help transferring like bigger types of data, for example, or streams or something different. At least that's how I understand the question.
Here we receive raw data, so we create files from raw data, and we have an automatic column that name content that extract the data from this file. It's application JSON. So I guess if it's application PDF, you could have the same with text. And we took a long time to set all the architecture, but now you will be able to configure your input and your transformation block in few minutes. So the objective is really we manipulate a lot of data in Perform-Posh, and as I said, in my daily work, I do a lot of transformation of API configuration and so on. So it's really a tool to match these needs and to simplify the process of managing data from various sources. So I will be happy to discuss it with you further if we can match this PDF input. I
personally would suggest to organize maybe even a separate session about it. I will check your input, Samuel, which you submitted yesterday about your component, and then we can share it with others as well, so they have a better impression about the component, which I think is a very interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
But as we have 1 minute left, I think I would give back the floor to Sylvia.
Thank you.